Are the New York Jets about to sign key defensive pieces from the Detroit Lions? With the recent hiring of Aaron Glenn as New York's new head coach, the possibility of former Lions players following their former defensive coordinator to the Big Apple is gaining traction. Journalist Tony Pauline from Sportskeeda highlighted an important detail. Glenn is reportedly determined to bring some of his former players to the Jets in the upcoming free agency. One of the targets, linebacker Derek Barnes, who could become one of the coach's desired additions to strengthen New York's defense. Pauline notes that Glenn will push for the Jets to acquire Barnes as soon as he becomes a free agent. But Barnes might not be the only one swapping Detroit for New York. Another name gaining momentum in the rumors is cornerback Carlton Davis, who spent a season under Glenn's guidance with the Lions. According to reporter Marissa Myers from TWSN, Davis would not only fit perfectly into the Jets scheme but also bring leadership and experience to a secondary looking for more stability. Davis, who joined the Lions via a trade with the Buccaneers in the 2024 offseason, had a positive impact before an injury ended his season. In 13 games, he allowed a completion rate of just 55.3% and a passer rating of 77.0 when targeted, solid marks for a high-level cornerback. However, his injury history raises concerns about a long-term contract. The question now is, will the Lions try to retain Davis, or will they trust young Ennis Rakestraw Jr., a second-round pick in the last draft, to step up in the defense? Meanwhile, the Jets are searching for a replacement for DJ Reed, who has already made it clear he intends to test free agency. If Glenn truly wants Davis on the Jets, the franchise will need to be financially creative. Pro Football Focus projects that the cornerback could command a 3-year, $42 million contract, which could strain the team's salary cap, currently with only $20.5 million in available space for 2025, according to Over the Cap. However, adjustments to the payroll could make this scenario feasible. The big question now is, will the Jets manage to bring these pieces from Detroit to solidify Glenn's defense, or will the Lions find a way to retain their key players? Leave your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to follow Lions News Fan Report for more updates on the team's future. If Aaron Glenn does manage to bring Derek Barnes and Carlton Davis to New York, it would be a significant blow to the Lions' defense. After all, Barnes has become a reliable piece in Detroit's defensive scheme, and Davis has shown his ability to be a solid cornerback when healthy. The key question for Lions fans is, how will the team respond to these potential losses? One possibility is for the Lions to bolster their defense through free agency or invest in the 2025 draft to find worthy replacements. In Barnes' case, Detroit could explore young talent available or even bet on the development of current roster players. As for the cornerback position, all signs point to Ennis Rakestraw Jr. getting the opportunity to prove his worth. But will he be enough to fill Davis's absence? Additionally, the emotional impact of losing players who were integral to the Lions' defensive system cannot be ignored. Glenn played a crucial role in Detroit's defensive growth in recent years, and his knowledge of the players could give the Jets an advantage in assembling a more competitive team under his leadership. If the rumors come true, New York could become an attractive destination for other Lions defenders looking for new opportunities. On the other hand, Detroit has a strong team culture and a coach like Dan Campbell, who has already proven he can motivate and rebuild the team in the face of challenges. If the Lions choose not to renew with Davis and Barnes, it could open the door for new talent to emerge and contribute to an even more aggressive and dominant defense next season. Free agency will be decisive in determining the course of these negotiations and, more importantly, the impact Aaron Glenn will have on his new team. The Jets will do everything possible to strengthen their roster and transform their defense into one of the most competitive in the AFC. But are the Lions willing to let these pieces go so easily? The coming weeks will be eventful, and here at Lions News Fan Report, we'll be tracking all the updates on the team's future. If you don't want to miss any Lions news, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. If I were to give my opinion as a true Lions fan, I'd say losing Derek Barnes and Carlton Davis to Aaron Glenn's Jets would be a considerable blow, but not something that would completely cripple Detroit's defense. In Barnes' case, he has become a solid and reliable linebacker, but he's not irreplaceable. The Lions' defense has young talent emerging, and Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have already shown they know how to find players who fit the system. If Barnes really leaves, I think the Lions will look for a worthy replacement in the draft or the market. Now, Carlton Davis is a slightly more complicated situation. When healthy, he has proven to be a very efficient cornerback with good coverage skills and physicality for the game. But that phrase, when healthy, is the key here. The problem is, he has never played a full NFL season. If the Lions decide to go another route and bet on Ennis Rakestraw Jr. as the starting CB, I understand. But at the same time, letting Davis go without a high-impact replacement could be risky. And there's more. Glenn taking Lions players to the Jets shows the respect and connection he built with these guys. That's something to consider when thinking about Detroit's culture. Do we want to keep players committed to Campbell and Holmes' project, or hold on to pieces that might prefer to follow their former coach? On the other hand, the Jets don't have much cap space, and paying $42 million over 3 years for a cornerback with an injury history isn't a simple move. Glenn might want Davis, but will the Jets be able to sign him without compromising other needs? At the end of the day, I trust that the Lions won't just watch players leave without a well-structured backup plan. If Davis and Barnes do end up in New York, I trust the front office will act quickly to reinforce the defense and keep the team competitive. However, if I had to choose, I'd keep Davis at a fair price and look for a young linebacker to replace Barnes. What do you think, fans? Is it worth keeping Carlton Davis and Derek Barnes, or should we let Glenn take these players and focus on new pieces? Leave your opinion in the comments and keep following Lions News Fan Report so you don't miss any updates. If the Lions truly let Carlton Davis and Derek Barnes go to the Jets, the big question becomes, what will Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell's plan be to keep the defense competitive? Because one thing is certain, this team has Super Bowl aspirations, and losing key pieces without adequate replacements is not an option. In Derek Barnes' case, the Lions already have talent on the roster that could step into his role. Jack Campbell, the 2023 first-round pick, showed progress last season and has the potential to become an elite linebacker. Additionally, Malcolm Rodriguez has room to grow even further. If Detroit decides to reinforce the position in free agency or the draft, some interesting names could emerge as options. Now, when it comes to Carlton Davis, the situation is more delicate. He was an essential piece in the secondary and, when healthy, elevated the defense's level against the pass. If the Lions don't re-sign him, they might bet on the development of Ennis Rakestraw Jr., but is the rookie ready to take on a key role in 2025? Another option would be to seek an experienced cornerback in free agency or even consider a trade. The Jets, on the other hand, are desperate to improve their defense and might see both Barnes and Davis as crucial pieces to elevate the team under Aaron Glenn's command. The problem for New York is the financial aspect. The tight salary cap could force the team to make cuts and adjustments, and investing in Davis or Barnes might not be viable long-term. Given this scenario, the Lions' decision will be crucial in shaping the defense's future and their chances of competing at a high level. Should they prioritize continuity and re-sign Davis and Barnes, or trust in the development of young talent and look for new options in the market? If I had to bet, I'd say Detroit should let Barnes go to the Jets and trust Jack Campbell to take on the responsibility. As for Davis, the ideal move would be to negotiate a team-friendly deal to keep him, while also adding another piece to reinforce the position, because relying solely on Rakestraw Jr. could be risky.